Good evening, and welcome to PEOMIOSFYRDS live on UWW-TV. I'm Alex Monti, joined by co-host Nazir Spencer and Gabe Sadowski. I ask you to please excuse our momentary interruption of sports from your regular daily schedule. We have a bunch to get into tonight, including news in college basketball and the NBA. Gentlemen, let's get started.
Do it.
For our number one story, we start with March Madness. The Final Four championships in both the men's and women's tournaments took place this past weekend. In the men's tournament, UConn was able to defeat Purdue in a relatively close one at halftime. They become the first team since the 2006 and 2007 Florida Gators to win back-to-back championships after the 75-60 victory. In the women's bracket, South Carolina completed their undefeated season by winning 87-75 over the Caitlin Clark-led Iowa Hawkeyes. Nazir, did this play out like you expected, and what was the most entertaining game of the weekend?
Oh man, the most entertaining game was definitely South Carolina versus Iowa. That game was just so good all around because both teams really wanted to win. Obviously, Caitlin Clark wanted to get her first ring, and South Carolina wanted to defend their home court and get that undefeated season out of the way. Which kudos to them, amazing season by them. I thought Caitlin Clark was going to take them down and really diminish their entire season, but they're fortunate enough to get it done. I'm glad they really give their shout out to her because she really has changed the game for the better. And back to the men's side, although I wasn't expecting Purdue to start off so hot. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Purdue was gonna, really get shut down right away. But UConn really, they rallied back and they ended up winning by a relatively larger margin, 15 points. I predicted that, by the way. I knew they were gonna win by 15. I knew Edie was gonna have a great game. It was bound to happen because I don't think anyone can really guard him in college. But that's just how it was. 15-point margin. I like it.
I was watching the game Monday night, and I was not really impressed with Zach.
Oh, no, I'm not impressed. But I just knew he was going to have a pretty decent game because it's the last game of the season, biggest game in his career.
Sure.
So.
If I was 7'4", I would simply just give me the ball every time, and I'm just
what they did.
Yamming it down every single time down the floor. I agree with you, Nazir. I think between the men's and the women's game, I think by far, the women's game was better. It was more entertaining. There was more on the line for both teams. Yeah. Obviously, UConn had the back-to-back titles at stake, and they ended up completing that. But I think you kind of hit on all those points. Like, it was Caitlin Clark's last game of her career. Like, she still hasn't. Well, she now hasn't won one, but for her to go out the way she did, have the career that she did, just before the show started, it was announced that she had her jersey retired by Iowa, which is fantastic. And I know we were saying like that quickly, but I think it's well warranted. I don't think there's any other player that deserves to have their jersey retired 3 days following their career.
Yeah.
All flowers to Caitlin Clark. I think she's phenomenal, and all flowers to South Carolina and Dawn Staley and what she's been able to do over there with that program as well. And just great stuff all around going on in college basketball.
Can we talk about Dawn Staley for a second? What a coach and what a player she was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, what a great all-around.
Not bad at all. Despite the Final Four happening, perhaps the biggest story this week in college basketball was Kentucky head coach John Calipari announcing he would be leaving the program after 15 years and taking a job at a rival school, Arkansas. The Razorbacks' former coach, Eric Musselman, recently departed to take a job at USC, and the door opened for Calipari to step in. Despite a 2012 NCAA championship, Calipari has been criticized recently for early exits in the tournament, including to Oakland this year. Gabe, is this a good move for Calipari in Arkansas, or will this benefit Kentucky more in the long run?
I think it's a good lateral move for both teams, really, at the end of the day. I think it was time for Kentucky to move on from Coach Cal and, just try and bring somebody new in to kind of maybe rejuvenate the program a little bit, just because I feel like Kentucky's kind of lost their lore to some degree in the college basketball realm. And obviously, they've been able to produce unfathomable amounts of NBA talent. Like, nobody's arguing that. But I think when people go up against Kentucky now in the tournament, they're not really scared of them anymore. They're not really sure, they're a blue blood, but we saw it this year. We've seen it in years past. Like, they're not that big of a threat, and they haven't been for a while now. For Arkansas, I think it's great for them. Like they've been starting to kind of produce more NBA talent. Like we've seen with Anthony Black and Jordan Walsh. Now, granted, they're not lighting the league up at all, but I mean, for a school like Arkansas, like it's good to see them kind of be producing NBA talent like that. And like I said, I just think it's a great lateral move overall.
I really thought this move was hilarious. He's running away from the backlash he's gonna get for losing every year, past 4 years in Kentucky. I mean, seriously, ever since this new decade has hit, he's made it past the second round once, and something like that, and he's been bounced by 16, 14 seeds, something like that. And after seeing what Oakland did to him, I mean, geez. He had to get out of there. No, he really did.
He did.
I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a great coach. He's the second most winningest coach in Kentucky history, and he won that ring back in the 2010s, and that's all great. But he hasn't won anything since. He's produced many good players, as you said. But I mean, for Arkansas, I think it's going to be great for them somewhat. They're not a great program yet, but I think it's going to end up turning them around somewhat a little bit. Maybe take a year or two, maybe 3. For Kentucky, they're going to continue their run. I don't know who's going to be in that spot next year. I hope it's Sean Miller, the coach that coached Arizona, because they're the closest coaches in college basketball right now. So maybe he already has his foot in the door. But I really hope to see him there. But if not, regardless if who goes there, they're going to be great.
I want to see Billy Donovan go back to college ball.
I was thinking about that. Yeah. That would be good. That would be good for the.
I think the way what he did for Florida's program before he left for the NBA, I think great stuff all around.
Not bad. From college to professional basketball, Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo was injured last night in a victory over the Boston Celtics. Giannis went down with a non-contact injury grabbing at his leg. While many fans across the league feared the worst, which would be a torn Achilles, reports today are that he avoided damage to the ligament and it's a calf strain. Despite the good news, his timetable is uncertain, meaning he could miss the start of the playoffs. Nazir, how big of a blow is this to the already struggling Bucks?
Well, he shouldn't have been playing in the first place because he was already hurt at the beginning. He was already hurt before they played the Knicks on Sunday.
I guess.
And he's your best player. He's a top 4 MVP candidate right now. I mean, you don't have the second seed on lock technically because you still got you got to play the Magic twice after this. We are the 4th seed right now in the East. But I don't think he should have been playing against the Celtics anyways. I mean, he was struggling to look like against the Knicks to run up and down the court, but he was able to do that, but they still ended up losing. So after that loss, I would have took and looked at it like, man, we play the Celtics, I understand, maybe play him the first half, but after that, sit him because he's banged up all season pretty much. So it gave me a heart attack, I'll say that. Yeah. I was very scared. I thought Dame was just not going to do it for us. For the rest of the season, but I'm glad to hear he's fine. I think he'll be back. I think he'll be back at the beginning of the playoffs for sure, though.
For sure.
Got a little time.
I think this is a blessing in disguise.
Think so?
I think so because Dame, I feel like, has been so inconsistent all season long. Dame has had great games for us this season. Don't get me wrong. That's what I'm not saying. I feel like we haven't really seen Dame and Giannis kind of gel together quite yet. Where we can look at a stretch of games and be like, wow, these guys they were just best duo in basketball, no question. I think this is great for Dame, especially with the playoffs now coming up, because I think this is going to be a chance for him to take over and to be able to just kick it into gear. And like I said, I think it's perfect timing.
All valid points. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll have our NBA awards show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with PEOMIOSFYRDS on UWW TV.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
For Hawk Talk, especially on days I'm hosting, you really need to be up early looking at those news stories, even the night before. I'm finding topics that I can incorporate in the show, and I feel like we get a conversation going.
Once you get the opportunity to do that with other people who appreciate it the same level as you do, it makes it that much more enjoyable.
For everything sports, tune in Monday through Thursday at 91.7 The Edge or watch us on UWW TV.
Are you bored on campus? Then come down to Warhawk Alley in the University Center. We have everything you need to take a break from your studies and have a great time. So come blow off some steam with our air hockey, darts, foosball, video games, 8 top-of-the-line Brunswick pool tables, and our 10-lane bowling alley. We have nightly specials, blacklight bowling, tournaments, and tons of chances to win prizes. For more information or to set up a reservation, call Warhawk Alley at 262-472-5681.
Here at UW Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Come on! Stepped it anyways. Oh, she got that off. They're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes! Yes!
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
Welcome back to PEOMIOSFYRDS live on UWW-TV. Now it's time for the PEONBA Awards Show. We'll be giving our award winners for accolades that are given out after the regular season. To start, we'll be doing our Players and Coaches Awards. These include MVP, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, and Coach of the Year. Gabe, you get the honors of starting us off. Who is your award winner for MVP?
Yeah, I got my MVP. I got Nikola Jokic. He's kind of proven, not just this season, but over the last couple here, that he's just good, and much love to Luka Doncic. He is another guy I think too that should. I think it's really just down to those two right now, and I think Jokic is he's just consistent, and he's just good.
He's just good.
He's just good.
It's as good as that.
You want me to give you these numbers I'm going to give you really quick? All right, this is Luka Doncic, everybody, for the season. Okay, I'm giving you these right now. Okay, 34, 9, and 10. That's what he's averaging. First in points. He's first in 33, 9, and 9 season in NBA history. He's most 30-point triple-doubles since MVP Russ, who won the MVP as a 6th seed, by the way. Just put that out there. First in 35-point games, first in 40-point games, top 3 in points, assists, and threes. That's all I have to say. He's MVP.
That is not bad. That is not
bad.
bad.
He is the MVP. That's all I got to say about that.
What do you have to say for Rookie of the Year?
Rookie of the Year, I'm going to give to Wemby. It's not even close. Chet was there for a little bit, but it's Wemby. He's averaging 20 points and 5 blocks or something like that. So, yeah, that's my Rookie of the Year for sure. It's not. I don't think it's even a debate, really. I hope not.
No, I also have Wemby. Pretty much exactly what you said, Nazir. It's not even close. He's maybe one of the greatest. This might be the greatest rookie season we've seen ever.
Defensively, maybe.
Defensively,
for sure.
I would argue, though, just in general.
That's a tough one.
It's a good one.
LeBron had a really good rookie season. But yeah.
I know he's having a good one. He's having a good one. What about defensive? Off that note,
Defensive Player of the Year, I have Rudy Gobert.
That's a good one too.
The Timberwolves, they've just been consistently good with him. I know last season he kind of struggled, and people were kind of questioning is he falling off? Mm-hmm. He's kind of come back this year, and he's really showed everyone no, he's not going anywhere. Rudy Gobert is that guy defensively.
I'm gonna go with Wemby. I think Wemby wins.
20 wins for the Spurs.
6 blocks a game.
But
That's
20
pretty dang
wins
good.
on the season?
I don't think that. See, that's the difference between MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. MVP, you can decide if you can pick the MVP off of the seeding and wins. That yeah. But I think Defensive Player of the Year is more of a personal player award. So Wemby, his presence on the court is he's gonna win it next year. So why not give it to him this year? Because his presence is so overwhelming. No one wants to go up on him whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I
it's the same thing for Rudy Gobert. He's on the best defense in the league and top 2 seed. I mean, yeah, of course he deserves it, but I'm sorry, I got to give it to Wemby on this one, man. Everyone playing him is just terrified to go up against. Even Chet, they're going up against him right now, and I don't think Chet can even do anything against him. No. Not much anymore, at least.
Yeah, one thing, defense wins championships, but it might not win you games. That's a fine line that you got to walk.
Oh, that's a good line.
Thank you.
That's a good line.
And then for your 6th man of the year.
Oh, it's Malik Monk. Unfortunately, he got injured a few weeks ago, but Malik Monk is absolutely unbelievable on the Kings. Granted, they're in the plan right now as an 8 or 9 seed, one of those right now. I'm pretty sure it's 8 seed, but they're right under the Suns. But when he was healthy, it was just man, he seemed like he was starting the whole season, and he was just dunking on everybody, shooting in anyone's face. He played like an absolute starter, and he's a stud. I compare him to Tyler Hero's 6th man of the year. It just seemed like he was starting the whole time.
Yeah. No, mine is also Malik Monk. Pretty much everything you touched on is there. He's just so important to that Sacramento team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just their offense. He's a big cog in that machine over there.
For sure.
And then for the final one, Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I had Jamal Mosley for the Orlando Magic. The Magic ended last season pretty good, and overall, I think they kind of built off of that going into this upcoming season, and they're I think the 4th or the 5th seed currently right now. So they've really impressed me so far this season.
I got to give mine to Coach Denault. I think I'm saying that right, but it's the Thunder coach.
That's a good one.
He's just that coaching system over there is just absolutely amazing offensively, and they've done a really good job with that young team over there. Obviously, as a top 3 seed in the West, which is the hardest conference, so give it to him for sure.
No, all valid choices there. For the next segment of our NBA awards show, we'll talk about teams. While these aren't actual awards that are given out, we're going to give our most surprising team and most disappointing team this season. Nazir, you get to start this one off. Who was the most surprising team in the league this season?
The most surprising to me had to be the Magic. I was just not expecting that from them. I knew they were going to be good, but top 4 seed? Wow. I mean, granted the East isn't as good as the West. I'll give it that, but still in the NBA, as a team that was not good, hasn't been good for years. I mean, geez, they're 4 seed.
Yeah.
They're playing great. Paolo's having an outstanding year that no one's talking about for some reason. And Jalen Suggs, man. I mean, Jalen Suggs is having such a great defensive year. And if he doesn't get 2nd team, all defensive team, I would be shocked because he's playing that good to where he deserves that award. He's been playing almost every game. Him and Cole Anthony are a dynamic duo. Cole Anthony's another great 6th man off the bench, by the way.
Yeah.
But that Magic team, all around, Franz is great. Man, that whole team is just great, for sure.
Yeah, no, I had the Thunder for my most surprising team. Last season they made the play-in. I believe they lost to the Timberwolves, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
But, this season, I was just shocked because I was expecting them to be kind of that 6 or 5 seed right around that range, not quite necessarily where they're at right now, but they've really hung out in that top 3 spot all season long with Denver and Minnesota. Just really great stuff from them, and for how young they are too. That's and oddly enough, it reminds me of the KD and Russell Westbrook and Harden OKC teams from last decade. Now it was a while ago, but just great stuff from OKC. I'm really excited for what they have in store for the future.
I feel like I expected that from them though. They didn't have Chet last year.
You think so?
They didn't have that defensive presence in the paint last year whatsoever. They had perimeter defense like they do this year, but I don't know. I like the pick. Obviously, this Chet made a huge difference when it came to the defensive piece, and Lou Dort also is a great defensive player.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like the pick too though.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's a solid one. What about one that a little more pessimistic was disappointing for you?
Oh my gosh. Man, the Suns are absolutely atrocious. They are pathetic. I mean, I love Kevin Durant and I love Devin Booker, but man, what is going on over there, man? They are what, an 8-7 seed right now, fighting for the 6th seed against the Pelicans or something like that. Mm-hmm. Dude, they should not be that low. Like their offense should be like literally almost unstoppable. Mm-hmm. They have Kevin Durant, who's Kevin Durant, okay. They got Devin Booker, who's absolutely a stud. And Grayson Allen has the 2nd best 3-point percentage in the league. Their offense should be unstoppable, but it's not. So I don't know. Frank Vogel's probably on the way out. You know, the coaching's a little rusty over there, man.
I think they give him at least one more year, and if he's not performing, then I think
he should be out.
My disappointing team was the Kings. They were the 30 seed last year, and I was really believing in them. And,
I was hoping.
I was hoping they could make a trade for like OG Anunoby and try and swing for that big trade, but. They're just a little too timid, and they haven't gone for it, and that's kind of shown in their record this season.
It's kind of paying dividends. We're going to take another break, and when we return, it'll be time for our 2-minute drill. Stay tuned. This is PEOMIOSFYRDS on UWW-TV.
I learned a lot of valuable lessons playing college football. I never thought about the health benefits of exercise until I actually started to talk to coaches in college. It's not only just for performance, it's for life. My coaches instilled the importance of well-being, not only building up strength, mental health, getting enough sleep, eating properly is all what it is to be healthy. I decided that I want to go into personal trainer and share my knowledge that I obtained in college about physical and mental well-being.
Your home for excellence in action. The WIAC Network. Watch and download here.
Matt checking in to see how Sam is doing on his project. And it's getting close to exporting now, the final step in the process. And it is complete, and Sam is hyped. Finally gets complete and spikes the ball into the end zone. Sam's celebrating with his colleagues, and they throw a flag on the play. The ref's going to call excessive celebration. Sam is in disbelief and can't believe it. He tries to dispute the call, but the ref is not having any of it.
Here at UWW, we put a lot of emphasis on shaping your involvement. Involvement helps you get to know more people with similar values and goals as yourself. The Student Involvement Office can help you get involved with organizations on campus, or we can help you start a brand new one. So what are you waiting for? It's time to shape your involvement at UWW. If you'd like to learn more, stop by UC 127 or contact us at involvement@uww.edu or call 262-472-6217.
Welcome back to PEOMIOSFYRDS. It's that time again, guys. 2-minute drill. You know the rules. As much news as we can get in 2 minutes. Are you both ready to go?
Let's go.
No.
Love the enthusiasm to start it off. Nazir, is Bronny James declaring for the NBA draft and transferring the right move for him?
I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move to transfer, but league off of 4 points a game, kudos to him, man. I'm not gonna hate on him because he's gonna be successful regardless of what he does. He's LeBron James' son, and he's pretty good at basketball. He just needs that go. He needs to just get going. So you know, it makes sense. LeBron's only got 1 or 2 more years left, so we want to see that LeBron and Bronny James collaboration going on.
Everybody's been dying to see it. Gabe, your thoughts on the Packers and Eagles playing the first ever NFL Brazil game this season?
I think it's really cool. You know, like just being able to expand the game to a more national level. And, you know, I know Nazir, you were kind of talking about in the group chat, like, hey, like, you know, trip maybe. No, I think it's great though, just to be able to, I don't know, it's a fun little trip.
Yeah, definitely trying to expand that global market as best they can.
For sure.
Nazir, your take on Stanford women's basketball coach Tara Vanderveer announcing her retirement.
That's a sad one. 1,200 wins as a coach. I mean, that's insane. She's won Coach of the Year in 3 decades, in '88, and '90, and 2011, and 2021. Is that not absurd? I'm just putting that out there. Great career for her. 1,200 wins. I'm pretty sure 12, 16, I think to be exact. Great coaching career.
Want to talk about longevity, man.
Yeah, seriously.
Gabe, thoughts on Drew Holiday re-signing with the Celtics for 4 years, $135 million?
I'm so happy for him. You know, not happy that he re-signed with the Celtics particularly, but I love Drew so much, and you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve in that regard because I love Drew with his time in Milwaukee, and I'm just super happy for him.
Fair enough. And I guess we won't be able to get to the last one after all. Thought we were going to get there, but just missed it. And with that bell, that means our time is up. Another successful 2-minute drill, gentlemen. Make sure to join us once again next week at 7 in the evening for another episode. For Nazir Spencer and Gabe Sadowski, I'm Alex Monty, saying thank you for excusing our momentary interruption of sports from your regular daily schedule. Have a good night.